Okay, let's go again. Just a moment. I'm trying to give the link to the people. Okay, I can see some of you got it. Yes. I have no idea what happened. Somehow I was kicked out of the Facebook. I'm here. Hello again. Yeah, can you share the link to everybody again, please, so we can make sure. I'm sorry, I'm posting to you from my husband's account, but I can't be in two places at the same time. I think what happened, somebody started live stream at the same time in the same group and it kicked us out. Hello again. Yeah, it was weird. Well, no worries, I will repeat everything. Hello again, yay! Okay. That was a bit funny, but I hope you can find out the way. Okay, I can see you. Yes. Okay, I think we are fine. I just hope it is not going to happen again. Oh. So, and if you can, please share part 2 to other groups quickly, to Finnabair and Friends Open Studio, to Art Collective, to Create with Prima, and I'm going to start the application of the rust paste. I was explaining that you can add water, or you can add fluid medium, or liquid gel medium, or acrylic binder to keep them fresh. And these are all good options. If you don't have fluid mediums or gel mediums or acrylic binders, water is going to also do good job. So it's better, it's better to add water than to leave it and hope that nothing is going to happen, because sooner or later it is going to happen. So the best results with the rust paste, and this is very important, you're going to get if you do it in minimum 2 steps. So first step is like general color as a background color, and then in the second step, while everything is permanent and ready, you can add lovely effects, touches, make it lighter, make it darker. So this is going to be much easier this way. Don't try to make it in one step, because it's going to be very dirty and messy. Okay, so let's say we are going to start with darker colors, and I have brown rust and red rust for that step. And then in the second step, we're going to play with water, and we're going to play with lighter tones, so the yellow and the red. Remember, they look very shiny and very vibrant in the jars, but actually after drying, they turn darker. So this brown is going to turn into like dark chocolate brown, very, very dark, almost black. This red is going to be darker, and this yellow, which looks like mustard yellow, is going to be much darker as well. So don't be afraid. Everything is under control. And again, now we just dab the colors on the top, and you can mix them with each other. So it's not going to be one even coat. I usually use the brown and red together, so they look like they create this natural surface. So in some parts it's going to be darker brown, in some parts it's going to be more red, and it's okay. If you are not going to cover everything, it's still okay. If your paste is very thick, take it on the palette and add some water to it, so this way it's going to be easier to dab it with the thinner coat. The thicker the paste, the more chunky rust you are going to get. Remember, this is coarse, so anyway you are going to get a lot of the texture in it anyway. So there's like a little sand, and you don't have to apply a lot to get a very textured result. Look how quickly it goes. Oh, hello, Olga. Right? You can see I'm just dabbing the colors kind of carelessly. I don't have to do too much. It's easier when the paste is more liquid, of course, but it's also personal preference. I'm going to create the impression. This is very, very old rusty camera that was sitting for a long time in the damp basement. This is what we are doing now. Poor thing, had very bad experience. Somebody completely forgot it. It was alone, sad. And this way we are getting the rusty effect, right? I do the front, I will dry it, and I will do the back so I can hold it in my hand, okay? So you can see I'm just trying to blend a bit of red and a bit of brown. This is like the first layer that is going to create the surface for the finishing touches in the second step. This paste is permanent after drying, of course. Oh, no. So it is going to be easy to put the second layer on. I'm drying, and you will probably see how the paste gets darker and darker. Yes, I think most of the people found the second part of the video, so I think that is okay. I'm so sorry for that. I have no idea what happened. I really suspect this was some kind of the glitch with Facebook. And as long as we are all here, it is fine. First layer is really careless. Like, you don't have to do too much. It's just naturally happening. You can make it thinner, because later we are going to add extra touches anyway. And I will show you on this camera different ways of adding the second layer, what you can do. And I think it's super easy and super fun, and you can create the rust effect instantly. So you can see it's turning darker already. It's just compare the red from the jar to the red and the brown. They're just naturally getting darker and darker. I can feel by, with my fingers, it is okay to touch. So it dried enough so I can put it on the other side. I flip it, and then I will do same thing on the back. a bit of brown. And of course, remember, this is also going to dry on your brush. So once you finish, put your brush in the water. You don't want to have your brush completely stiff and ruined, right? So give it a chance to survive, put it in the water, and then it's going to be possible to use it again in the future. I would say not bad at all. The result is quick. You can see my paste is very liquid. This was intentional. I added a lot of the water or a lot of the fluid medium inside to make it easy so I can paint with it quickly and I don't have to put a lot of texture. Of course, the more texture you have, the more drying time you will need, because if it's going to be very built up, very chunky texture, it's going to dry a little bit longer. Right? And do we repeat the drying? Again, my finger stuck to something. Now you. Oh, shit. Ta-ra-ra. I love the situations like that. Of course I do. Of course I do. Hello, hello. Well, the camera is a really cool object to alter, but you don't have to do it on the camera. You can do it on the box and make rusty box, or you can make it on the frame or even on the flower pot. That is going to be quite cool, to pretend that your pot is rusty while it is really just a regular flower pot. The general concept of application of the paste is the same. It is really user-friendly product. The biggest challenge is to remember to check it from time to time, and if it's drying out, to clean the edge and to add some water or some fluid medium or gel medium so it is going to be fresh. Okay, look, it's turning dark again. Maybe one more minute. I will clean the brush so I can use it again with the lighter colors. Taram, tam, taram. Okay. Oh, hot. Hot, hot, hot. I will dry this one again. Really naughty. So there are two things that you can do now. So that means, first of all, you can just brush the colors on the top. You take your clean brush, and now to make the accents, to make it look nicer, you can now go to the lighter colors, so combination of the yellow and red, and just simply dab it on the top. Let's make some custom mix, maybe. Let's try this yellow here, and then I'm going to put some red, and then you can just do highlights with the edge of the brush. And these highlights are going to show the details better. You know what I'm doing here? It's very easy. Highlighting. And you can regulate the color by adding a little bit more of red or a little bit more of the yellow. It's really up to you. This is one of the options. Of course, remember, this dries quickly, so it's kind of natural you have to work fast, okay? When you have the product on your brush, you have to go quickly. Look how nice it is. I hope I will have classes in Poland at all. This is a really important thing to say today in the close future, because everything seems to be complicated now. Okay, so this is one thing, but there's a second thing that you can do, and I like it even more, and this is combination of the paste and water. And for example, I will just show you here how you can create highlights and drips using water. You put a bit of the paste and then you put water right away and you let it drip, right? And these drips look very natural, like the paste is dripping exactly the same way as the water, creating the rusty effects. So after drying, this is going to look very natural. And this is probably the most recommended technique if you would like to get natural looking effects. Okay, now I'm going to dry. It's not dripping too easily because of the coarse background of the camera, but I will try to do it somewhere again. Let's try here. A bit of the paste and then a lot of water. And everything turns darker, so it starts to look more natural. And if it's too light, you can always repaint on the top. So now it's too light. We're going to add red. And you can play like this until you're happy. There are many ways of doing it. And really, water is my favorite, so I'm just going to do the water on the top, and hopefully this is going to drip all the way on the camera. I almost burnt my my jar. So I'm applying quite a lot of the paste here, and I'm adding some yellow as well, and we're going to water it, so it's going to drip down. Come on, go. Go. Yeah. My brush just ran away. Sorry. So as you can see, this is easy, really. The more you play, the more the fun results you're going to get. And the best way is to do it in steps. One layer, dry it. Second layer, dry it. Have a look, decide if you like it. If you like it, keep it. If you don't like it, add some more. Okay, so this is exactly how I play with my rust paste. I'm just doing on the light bulb as well. And then it creates like these caked groups of rust as well, which is absolutely lovely. And that means it looks even more natural and more convincing. After we dry it, there's just one thing to do, adding some metallic highlights, pretending in some parts there is still metal visible. Yes, Gabi, I was in Berlin in October. It was my first time in Berlin, but before that I was in Hamburg. Oh jeez, I forgot where I've been. Years ago I was in Munich, and then I was in Hamburg, I think. Germany is still quite a new place for me, so I will be very happy to travel again and visit. I will dry it a little bit more so you can see the result. Now, if you feel this is too light, no problem. You can add brown as well. So this is what we This is what we got so far, quite quickly. Now I'm going to look for the places that are maybe in serious need of the retouch. Like here, there is this knob that was trying to come off, so I will do the retouches. Right, maybe something is a little bit too light, so I'm going to add the brown. And basically the rusting process is done. You can now play with the highlights to create the feeling that this is still a little bit possible to see the metal. This is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take silver and silver and iron color of the wax, and almost ready. Right? You could see this product is very user-friendly because you basically use it as a paint. You don't have to follow any special formula. The only things you have to remember is to keep your product wet when you are working, and to work on the surface quickly. So if you're applying the paste and you would like to get drips, you don't wait, you just apply it and wet it with the water. Apply it and spray it, apply it and spray it. So this way you're going to make the paste drip before it's going to dry. Because this is the biggest problem. If you're going to paint too much and then you're going to go with the water, it may not react anymore because it's going to be dry. You know what I mean? Waiting too long may be a problem. So you have to be quick, you have to have water on hand, and at the same time brush that you are not sorry to kill if it happens by accident. Oh, Germany is a beautiful country. I always enjoy traveling and seeing new places, so yeah, it's my pleasure. So let's have a look now. I'm going to work with the waxes to add the finishing touch. Look how nice this looks. This is super thick because of the paste. Oh, here was still wet. I can remove it. And so it looks like it is really eaten by the rust. The same happens here. It really does look like the rust is so deeply in the metal that it is corroding through all these layers. So it does look very, very convincing. And here is the part that I missed by accident. So now if it happens, you just give it a bit of love and it's going to be ready to go. And now I'm going to close the jar so it is not drying out, and I will take the waxes to add some finishing touches. Okay, so this was the basic set, the rust paste set. There are 3 colors in the set: red rust, yellow rust and brown rust, and you use all of them together to create dimensional look. So that is the reason there are 3 colors, because if you just use one color, it looks very flat. But if you start mixing them with each other, the look is really like the rust you will have on the metal objects. I know the light here is not the best, probably, to see the details. It's quite cold daylight, but I promise to take the photos tomorrow, and you're going to see the details better. So usually this kind of rust would happen on the iron. So I would take brushed iron wax. We can also try a bit of the old silver. And this is for adding the touch-ups in some places where we would pretend the metal is still visible. And you know, it's really up to you how much you are going to add. Palette. Oh, right. I put it on the paper because on the back there are some elements, so I don't want to go too far. Oh, that's a lot. I will see. If I want to add some lighter silver, I will do it. But now I'll just take one of the really small brushes. I make sure I have a tiny bit on my brush. Deep in the... And now I can brush the edge of the camera again. I will make it dirty with my finger in a moment, but now I'm just like adding a bit of the touches in some parts, pretending that maybe here and there will be still some parts not completely corroded. Not too much though, because we wanted to create the rusty effect for a reason. This is just to highlight and to create the impression maybe somebody was trying to clean it off a bit here and there. Oh, it does still work. Haha. Perfect. Now I can also take this out. Yay, the window is more or less clean. I will try to make sure that part of the plate is visible. Again, it's a personal preference. How would you like to finish? This is the matter of the personal preference. If you would like to see more of the metal or you would like to see more of the rust, you know, it's hard for me to decide for you what is your project going to be, right? This is something that you have to decide. I'm trying to take this one off. Yay! Not bad at all. We have this visible, and let's see what happens here. Yes! Now, because it's too clean, I will do a bit of the rusting, and it is finished, I think. What do you think? Do I need to add more of the silver? Or not really? Tiny bits. You can also bring back a bit of the rust if you feel that you moved too much, of course. Now, trying not to paint the lens. It's going to be a challenge. But let's see what happens. I know there was no gesso in that part, but it's still going to stick. Heat gun is one of the most important tools when you work with this paste, so you can quickly dry and move to the next steps if you want to. So now, let's have a final look. And the products that we used, so it's like a recap of everything. There's one thing which is kind of annoying for me. I don't know why this here. Yeah, it was a bit too much. So, we used in the order right, we have the camera ready. We can see the effects of the rust on the top, a little bit of the metallic. I will do a little bit more of the metal in the back maybe. I really like the front, so it's still moving. Ha ha! Ha ha! Great. And this one, yeah, still. So, we started with clear gesso to prime it. Then we used modeling paste to glue down the elements. And that is the main glue that we used all over. Then we primed everything with black gesso, just in case if I'm not going to paint everywhere perfectly. Once it was dry, we used 3 colors of the rust effect paste. And that is brown rust, red rust, and yellow rust. All of that also using some water. And finally, we add finishing touches with the brushed iron wax. And really, I will have to give it a moment to decide if I want to add any extras or maybe more of the rust here on the lens, because it seems to be a bit too clean. But honestly, this is quite cool. If you compare it to the video that I did in the past, you will see I improved my skills of explaining things as well. And of course, this is much longer video than the one that I was doing before for YouTube channel. And kind of YouTube doesn't like the long videos. I don't know why. And anyway, I hope that was helpful. And if you were planning to get any of the rust effect paste, all of them have the same formula. So they are having some kind of coarse finish inside, and they are reacting with water the same way. So you can get results in different color palettes, playing with the similar kind of project. So if you have any questions about this product, of course, I will answer in the comments later. And now let me switch so I can say my goodbye. I'm hot. The camera is ready, and I think it looks a little bit cooler than it was before. I will take a photo tomorrow with the altered and not altered together, so you can compare the regular black sienna and the steampunk version of the camera when it was for a long time in a very damp basement. And this way you can think about maybe some similar projects in the future, and you can do this kind of alteration using rust paste on everything. And of course this is like full rust, but you can do just touches of rust in selected parts of your composition easily. You just do the tiny brush and water, and this way you're going to get all these effects, all these drips, all these parts that are very natural looking. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the wonderful time together. And of course it's going to be all recorded. I hope we didn't lose the first part of the video. And you can come back to it and watch it later if you have a moment. And of course, if you have crafty friends who would like to learn about, you can send them this video so they can watch and learn and get inspired as well. So thank you so much, and we will be in touch soon. And thank you to all of my patrons who were here today and supported me. We have a new date coming this weekend, so stay tuned. I'm planning to do new live stream for my patrons only on Saturday. So if you are coming, I will going to do a bit of the proper mixed media education this weekend. So all the patrons of €10 and more, the live stream is coming. Thank you so much. Bye bye and see you soon. Oh, my hand.